Welcome back to the crypto wonderland, and we are watching that the prices are getting rejected. It came back up to retest something, which is a short-term trend line, to be honest. Now, with Bitcoin getting rejected at its regional resistance, we thought it's going to go back up and, say goodbye to the base. But rather than that, the short term itself is saying, no, I'm not going to do that. Rather, I'm going to pull this one off. How many of you remember we were having a discussion on this topic, saying if we get rejected here, it is going to be a bloodbath. So let's actually watch if that's going to happen. Yeah, because the 12-hour MACD already crossed to the upside. 12 hours already showing you a bullish divergence. So I'm like, okay. What are these whales trying to do? Because in a higher time frame, you don't have bullish divergence. On a daily, no. On a 3-day, no. On a weekly, no. So that means higher time frames should rule the match. But currently, short term is still active. Yeah. Yes, it is true that the weekly closed below the moving average. You're testing the moving average and getting rejected. The MACD crossed to the downside. The RSI is at 50. So bullish arguments, it's going to be very hard on a higher time frame for sure. But when you do zoom in, those things which are coming out as bullish is not for you to go long, rather to get a better entry on your shorts. That is what I would argue. So on a 12-hour chart, one of the easy things to notice here is last time you had a MACD cross to the upside. Yes, it was volatile at the moving average. Yes, it crossed the moving average and retested it, but it still went up before that. Again, you were volatile, you were doing a lot of stupid stuff, but still went further to the upside until the 12-hour MACD crossed back to the downside. Now, some of these assets which you need to understand precisely based on the market sentiment, the news, the current movements in the market is XRP. The news out there is like it's about to blast through the sky, yeah? At least those who are analyzing just the news, the fundamental side of the equation, to put their money on a long-term asset, they would feel like that. Because, you can't get better than this. If you want to bet on something which is very strong, at the moment you don't have much other than XRP. But the price action is telling you another story. And I'm like, what the hell is this? The price broke to the downside. It already reached its a measured move, which was that long wick to the downside. But then my question would be, okay, should I buy this here right now? Yeah, if I want to go long on this asset, that seems to be a local regional support, but is the MACD agreeing that it's about to go back up? It doesn't look like that. Now you watch your higher levels, which kind of shows you, okay, there is negative divergence, which is increasing, blah, blah, blah. All of that is true. Now you go on to multiple assets to see some asset showing you exceptionally bullish moves, watching for, multiple segments, multiple assets. So this one broke through its regional support, which was there for like last 3 years. But now it's taking a trend line support of that pattern. So if it bounces, it goes up, that's good. You're going to see 100-200% move. But it is still inside the accumulation region. So if there is going to be a pivot in the crypto market, how would that look like? Because we all understand the fact that there's a long-term trend line above which most of these crypto assets, the altcoins, are running. It's very easy to put that argument, but the trouble is when the MACD crosses to the downside on a higher time frame like a weekly, now we have trouble. If it's me looking at this, I would actually put that argument saying, okay, if the RSI is nowhere near 65 on a 3-day chart, buying sentiment is very hard. Yeah, you're not going to see any momentum in your price steps. Now, yes, you can go on a weekly and you can argue it's below 50. That means you're nowhere going to see anything bullish. Yeah, there can be micro moves if you're on an hourly chart. But other than that, you may not actually see something good in the market. So that brings us to the general alt market to see if we have any chance to go higher. Now, then the MACD crosses comes in. The MACD crosses to the downside, the price moves up and then follows the direction of the MACD cross, which is very easy for all of us. We know that. Right now, the MACD crossed to the downside on total alt market. That's not good. Now, if you want to pull that up into the total crypto market, this is exactly what you see. That crossed to the downside before it. Okay, I don't like it. Yeah. Now, check the DeFi side of the equation, because the argument a lot of people make here is like, okay, that's just one asset in DeFi market. So we'll pick the total DeFi side of the equation. Now, this is what it actually looks like. Now, is there a doubt that this asset class is about to thrive? No, it is going to go sky high. But the question is that going to happen in next 12 months? Is that going to happen in next 24 months? Or is it going to be a long game? Like, if you're all familiar with all these successful individuals like Kobe in sports or anyone in finance or any stream, they all take one approach. That's long term. Now, as an investor inside the crypto market, we took that approach back in the time at the right time. And right here, right now, you have to think and analyze. Are you still going to go long? Because there are cycles. You have economical cycles, business cycles. Now, all of them are slowly getting combined into one region. Interest rate cycle kind of shows you, yeah, that's the direction. So if that is true, whenever you have a long wick, what do? You come back to retest that, especially when you do that long wick above the moving average from the top of that side, then the price eventually come back below that or at least to that position. Now, that in the total DeFi market argues that this has to be the price movement, like 30%. I mean, do I like it? Yeah, because I'm in shorts. But then you look at the entire market and the vast majority were bullish. Now they are slowly turning neutral. When will they actually go bearish? That is the biggest question. Now, yeah, you can put this into a line chart for accuracy and then try connecting all these bottoms. So those guys who say trend lines doesn't work, they may miss it, but you'll see this. The most number of touches on a trend line is what you want. Now, the price is just below the moving average and the trend line. The MACD crossed to the downside. Now, all that you have for this month is another 10 days. Question is the RSI going to go back above 70 on a monthly chart? That's Bitcoin. I mean, keep that inside your mind. Don't forget about that. Because the moment you get rejected below the moving average of the RSI itself, when it falls below 70 region, that is not good. And especially historically, when you go back each and every time, not once, each and every time in crypto market, that showed you need to be cautious. Will others say this? No, there is no incentives aligned with that. I mean, are you going to trade to the downside and make money? Yeah, you can. Yeah, for sure. And we are prepared for that. We are human emotions. We are going to keep it out using an algorithm, the bot, everything is ready. But how many of the market participants right now would agree that we are topping off and we're going to go through this region to the downside? Not a lot of people would agree right now, but once the price falls below that trend line, most will abide by that. Now watch this. This is a monthly chart. Now tell me something here. Do you think we are done with that trend? That's a monthly chart. Your argument is going to be specific and your argument is going to be clear. The more number of touches you have on that line, the better it is. Here, you're still above the moving average. Just to reach the moving average, it's $86,000 per Bitcoin. That means you can drop even inside a bull market. So don't even think about a bear market, how deep it is going to drop. So let's sum it up here in a way. Pick multiple assets. Some of them are showing you they're still in accumulation. But if they break the accumulation and continue trending lower, done. There's something wrong inside the project which we don't know. We believe it's going to go up, but the market is saying no. Whereas there would be other assets which are saying, no, I'm at the all-time low. I'm trying to take a support. But if that support breaks, what happens? This is the question I was raising. There are assets which were showing I'm going up. Yeah, I'm at the all-time highs region. I want to break higher. What if they get rejected there? The history repeats and rhymes. So you need discipline, you need patience, and you need to make sure human emotions are kept aside.